much have supported DBG and have waited a long time. And, you know, they deserve honest and direct answers for their concerns. So this is honestly just for the supporters. If for whatever reason things get off topic, I'm going to try to stay focused. Honestly, I'm like, my objective is to get information out there and kind of go over everything that has kind of transpired in the last couple of days. And so we're going to get through everything and kind of get through the nitty gritty of stuff. So, you know, first and foremost, I do want to say thank you guys so much for taking time out of your day to join me on this live stream. Again, I'm doing 2 platforms. So I'm one on TikTok, one on Instagram, trying to make the eye contact as direct as I possibly can. So I'm going to try to move my camera a little bit just to direct it into the right direction. So, most recently, you guys, there have been a lot of allegations that have come forward in regards to production, times of production, and these are things that I'm definitely going to be addressing today. Obviously, you know, first and foremost, I want to say and take full responsibility and accountability for the fact that things might have blown up a little bit on Instagram without me really addressing things. A lot of that has to do with the fact that, you know, legally, I don't want to put myself in a situation where I'm giving out information without getting actual legal advice from an attorney in regards to that issue. And obviously, you know, acknowledging everything that's been going on. So we're going to start off and fully acknowledge that I do want to be fully transparent about everything that's been going on. So there's a lot of things that go into a business, and I can mention this and go and dive deep into it. But yes, there are a lot of logistics that go into a business, and I don't want to like divulge and give off a lot of information because this isn't meant to be a lesson. This is just meant to be sort of a transparency for all of those who are buyers and pre-sale buyers to the products. So as you guys know, I worked with many factories last year, one of which did not end up so good. But my known factory recently was attacked, not attacked, but addressed as far as like being told to disclose some personal business information. And you know, to be honest with you, I'm sorry, give me 1 second. To be honest with you, everybody that negates in a business, it's always 50%. You pay for 50% of production. You pay for a sample that covers a little bit over the 50%. And then you pay the difference after the product is done. So when the product is finished, then you have pretty much the product that's, sorry, I'm like negating everywhere because can I just ask really quickly, and I'm asking this, I'm not asking for much because I'm really trying to be as vocal and as transparent as I can be, but I also do like negate, and comments that throw me off guard and accusations that are going to throw me off guard are going to remove from the very precise reason and point for this live stream. And essentially this is going to be for, again, pre-sale buyers and people that have outstanding pre-orders and, you know, their concerns on where their products are, what's happening with the products, are they going to be getting their products? And I really want to answer all of those questions. And in order for me to get there, I need I'm not asking for much, but I need the opportunity to speak. And then when we get to the very end, we'll have questions. Like I have solutions, questions, and there's going to be things that I'm going to add at the end that is going to be beneficial for you as a buyer. So just give me a second. Let me collect that information for you. And then we could jump into comments and concerns and questions at the very end. So I just really need that 100% so that you understand. So as I mentioned, DBG has been around for 7 years. So there's always been a balance owed always to the factory. Now, I'm going to tell you right now that what was disclosed is not 100% truth. And it's sad that I even have to go into it because of the logistics that go behind a business. But there's always been a balance that is owed to our factories. It's just how it works. You pay 50%, you pay 50% when it's done. Now, last year, which again, I can show you my tax records. I can be transparent and show you guys everything. I've always carried a balance with my factory. So towards the end of last year, like stumbling on my words, but I have receipts and everything that I'm going to show at the very end. I promise. I've pretty much did a Prezi point on this. So there's always a balance that gets carried over by, it's a part of the fulfillment. It's a part of the process. It's a part of the business. Now, it doesn't mean that because there's a balance owed to the factory. Now, I'm not going to go into the details of logistics because I don't think that I need to do that. I'm just going to go into the fact that those items that are in production are being paid for. So when the item is finished, now let me emphasize finished, meaning when the product is done, the rest of the remainder of the 50% that is owed to the factory is paid for and my items ship to me. Now, has there been delays in production? Of course. There have been errors that happened, samples that happened, that were issues and things that happened on the back end that totally have to do with me. This is like, it's like I ask people for like, I know you have concerns and questions. Let me get to it, okay? So let me reiterate, because I can give you guys numbers. You guys think 20K to my factory is like a brand new number. It isn't. I've always carried a balance with my factory because I'm a high volume pin producer, always. Now, have the sales trickle down? Yes, they have. It's like no one owes me anything. Yeah, that's true. That's very true. Okay. I'm like, okay, back to it. So now, as far as production goes, the factory always collects 50% in order to produce a product. Yeah, per the info, that isn't even confirmed. Just so you know, I have receipts of my factory stating that they've never spoken to anybody, and I don't know any business that would gladly divulge logistics to a customer, especially when I've worked with them for 5 years. I'm gonna get to it. Now, there is a balance owed to my factory. There's always a balance. There's always a 50% balance when products are completed. Now, just like you guys, I have waited for my products to be completed as well. But I have the confidence that my factory has completed it. Oh God, it's like, I can't do anything on here. I swear. It's like so ridiculous because it's like, give me a second. Okay, so there's always 50%. I'm not going to run into the logistics of my business. Unfortunately, that privacy of my logistics was violated by somebody that did try to obtain information from my factory. That information was leaked out there, so now I'm addressing it. So one of the first and foremost things that I'm going to say is that information is a total, it's like I'm trying to really speak, but I really fucking can't. I'm so fucking sorry. It's like I really was like, okay, I'm gonna start over because this isn't reaching. Yeah. Okay, I'm trying. I really fucking am. It's crazy. Okay. So again, a factory would not function without receiving any sort of payment from you. It doesn't matter what kind of relationship you have with the factory. You will always pay 50% of what you owe them up front. Always. I'm going to just say this very clear and concise, that you guys are functioning on numbers that has been denied and not confirmed by my factory. So I'm addressing allegations in regards to why my pins have been delayed and why there are no updates. And I'm really trying my best to do it because, quite honestly, I'm only going to be speaking to my supporters in regards to why things have taken a long time and giving them the reassurance that those products are going to be completed. They are in production. Most of everything is at the end of printing. And like I mentioned before, 50%, okay? When the product is done, the balance is paid. And as a business, that is something that I have to figure out for myself in regards to those payments to the factory, which I have. There is already a payment plan in place. There is already a business loan that has been granted to Designs by Jen. So there is a reassurance that those products are going to get to you as a consumer. And that is the major concern that everyone has. Now, a factory wouldn't produce products without a payment. That's just how it works. It doesn't matter how special you are. That's their business owners as well, and they just would not do that. So, again, reiterating back, and I could go, look, I'm not going to divulge into logistics of owning a business, running a pin business, understanding the fulfillment. I have 7 years that I've done this business and have yet to not fulfill an order. Has this last year my orders taken a long time? Yes, but they are in production. You are getting those updates. They are slower, obviously, because of everything going on, and definitely on my end too, with a lot of the fallouts that happened, samples that got remade, things that got remade that came out of, again, the process of fulfilling those orders, but they are going to be fulfilled. So I think like the biggest thing that I could do now is offer solutions, right? So anything that still is in protection is offer a solution for you guys as buyers, as far as like a rebuy or a cancellation, a rebuy type of situation, which is something that I have been going over to try to figure out logistically how I can do that, but I'm going to offer that for anything that is still in protection. Anything that is out of protection, those products are finishing. They're almost done. Oh, I got like dinged out of my own live. Oh, this is why we have one here. Let me see. Let me go back here. Okay. There we go. Okay. Back to my thing. I'm like, I try to like veer off of like not my talking points. It just kicked me out of the live stream on Instagram, by the way, guys. So again, like speaking to the people that are waiting and concerns, you are still going to get those products. Now, as far as, cancellations and things like that, those are things that we're definitely going to visit, because again, I just want to make the reassurance that I'm really not going anywhere. I don't plan to leave. Those products are almost done. They're made. There was a lot of things that went on in the back end last year logistically that if I sat here and I dove deep and I showed you everything, I would just be teaching you a lesson on how, like, I wouldn't even be teaching you a lesson. I would just be divulging like business information and business expenses and things that went into the business. But yes, things have taken a long time, but they are in production and they are almost done. So there are items that haven't had updates, which I 100% am just going to offer cancellation refunds for at this point. And that has a lot to do with the fact that, again, my factory, there's a repayment plan in place. I have another factory that I'm also working with as well. And so, I'm just going to, those are honestly the products that I haven't updated are products that didn't sell that well. So I'm okay with just doing refunds for that because the orders weren't even that great to begin with. So, and again, and I acknowledge fully that those are things and executive decisions that I'm making as a business owner myself. So, okay. So the pre-sales that are far out, like I mentioned before, anything that is purchased that you have an update for, my factory is moving things in production. You're going to get those products. I just want to reassure that. Again, a factory, everyone does it this way, where there is pretty much like, for example, like I'm going to speak business and logistics. Give me a second, guys, because I'm going to speak business and logistics. Okay. Business isn't that complicated. Yes, Jess, it is. And if it wasn't, a lot of people would do pins, right? And that's why a lot of people have, and a lot of people, it doesn't go far. Business is hard. Any business is hard. And when you deal with logistics, like I said before, there's no way a company would not do the 50%. This is how business has always ran. There's always been a 50% payment plus a little over. And then when those products are completed, you pay the balance. That's always been how it's worked. With Designs by Jen, it's always worked that way. It's never not worked that way. Now, what I didn't expect, of course, is delays on my end, which I hold 100% accountability for, which was sample delays, things that I didn't approve on time, and that caused even more of a delay. And that has a lot to do with me taking on, a role, which I've reiterated over and over again in plenty of lives, that I reiterated that I stepped into a role that I wasn't used to, because this was a business that managed with 4 different people. And it had a lot to do with, a lot of my own neglecting sample approvals and, proofing and things like that. So okay, no, you're right. I shouldn't assume that everyone does them this way, but I do. I don't make I didn't want to go into the logistics of a pin business, but I don't make